Start to allow yourself just to completely arrive on your mat, to allow everything else that's going on around you or mentally to drift into the background so that this next 45 minutes of time can be entirely yours. Your opportunity to give yourself whatever you need, whatever that looks like. You're in your own space, so you have complete freedom to separate from how it looks and just focus on how it feels. One more time together. Let's take a full breath in. Really fill up your belly. Press it against your thighs. And then take a full breath out. Exhale. Really push the air out of your lungs. And next time as you inhale, walk your fingers as far forward as you can and extend your child's pose. Keep your forehead down on the mat. You might tense up onto your fingertips. And as you inhale, stretch a little bit longer, and as you exhale, pull a little bit inwards. Relax your shoulders. One more time, inhale. Exhale, pull in. Start to walk both hands over towards the right side for a side body stretch. When you get there, your left hand can press down on top of your right hand. Let's see if you can keep both your armpits facing down towards the ground. And walk both hands back to center. Take it all the way over towards the left. And pull back through your hips. Breathe into your right side. Walk both hands back to center. One more time, stretch long, inhale. As you exhale, slowly start to roll your way all the way up. You'll find a seated position. If it's okay to stay on your knees, go for that. If you want to give the arches of your feet a little stretch, you can start to tuck all of your toes underneath. And that'll be a pretty big stretch in your feet. You'll feel it pretty much immediately. If that doesn't feel okay, just keep your toes untucked and stay in a kneeling position. Then inhale, reach your arms overhead. Clear out space, exhale. I'm in a tight hallway. Then we'll inhale, reach your arms. We're gonna do two more like that. Flip your palms face out, exhale, press down. Maybe start to find a little resistance. And one more time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, press it down. Bring your hands down by your hips and just start to roll out your head in one direction. Relax through your face. And just notice any places in your neck and your upper back that feel tight or tense, and see if you can just soften in those places. And if you haven't already, switch out your direction, take it the other way. Then from here, just fly over onto one of your hips. Bring the soles of your feet down on the mat and put a little space between your knees. Almost imagine like you're squeezing a tennis ball in between your knees. Reach your arms out in front of you. We're gonna find a little core integration. Start to roll back until you are about halfway or until you feel your core start to work. And then inhale, roll back up. A few more like that. Roll down about halfway or wherever you can feel your core start to engage. And then roll back up. Two more, roll down. Lift up. This time we're gonna roll down halfway or wherever it is that you can feel it and hold. Take one more breath in. Maybe go a little bit further down. And then slowly make your way all the way down onto your spine. And when you get there, let's see if I can fit. You're gonna bring your feet in a little bit closer. And again, feel like you're squeezing a tennis ball in between your inner thighs. Palms face down. Maybe your fingertips touch your heels, but maybe not. And then lift your hips to hover for bridge pose. Just a little bridge, not your biggest back bend. Your gaze should be up towards the sky and your chin is off your chest. Without actually moving your heels, pull them back towards your shoulders to engage through your hamstrings, your glutes, and your low back. And see if you can just nestle your shoulder blades under your body a tiny bit to support your spine. From here, reach your arms overhead. Just start to circle out your wrists, wake them up, stretch them out. You can use one hand to press the opposite palm down. And then switch it out, take it the other way. So whatever you need to kind of loosen up in those wrists. And then when you feel warm, start to bring your hands back down. One more inhale, lift the hips a tiny bit higher. Then exhale, slowly start to lower your hips all the way down. Pick up your feet, take your hands to the outside edges, and we'll find happy baby. If your hands don't quite reach your feet, you can bring your hands to the outsides of your calves. That feels a little better. And then if you want it, you can start to find a little movement, a rock side to side. Maybe extend one leg or both legs and pull them back in. Just feel free here to take any movement that feels natural and right. And then eventually, we'll start to release this. Bring your knees back into your chest. Bring your hands to grab behind your thighs. And then we're gonna start to rock and roll the entire length of your spine if that feels okay for you. We're eventually gonna find a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. So if it feels better to just take your time and stand up, that's great too. When you arrive in your forward fold, take your feet to hips distance, which you can measure that with 2 fists in between your hands. That's hips distance. And then put a little bend in your knees, grab opposite elbows, relax your head and your neck. You might sway a little side to side or bob up and down. And then eventually, gently start to release your grip. Tuck your chin and slowly make your way all the way up to stand, one vertebra at a time. And when you get there, pick up your shoulders by your ears a couple times, roll them down your back. And then switch out that direction. Take those shoulder rolls forward. And eventually, bring your shoulders back to neutral. Inhale, lift your arms overhead. And exhale, bring your hands towards your heart. Press your thumbs against your sternum, that big bone in the middle of your chest. Then close your eyes. Maybe rock a tiny bit forward and back or side to side, just so you can feel out where neutral is. When you find it, find stillness. And this is mountain pose, so it should feel really strong, really stable. Slightly tuck under your tailbone. And then pick up all 10 of your toes and see if you can set them all down one at a time. And that will really engage your whole legs, especially through your quads. And then take a moment to check in with yourself, to notice what your body needs, what your mind needs, what your spirit needs. And once you've listened, be willing to give yourself whatever that is. Anything you need is yours during this time. Together, take a full breath in. And open your mouth, breathe out. Blink your eyes open, reach your arms overhead. Put a soft bend in your knees, we'll forward fold all the way back down. When you get there, inhale, lift up halfway, bring your hands to your shins. Then really pull your tailbone towards the back and the crown of your head forward. And see if you can make this an active pose. Little bends in your knees. Press a little bit against your shins. One more, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step back, then lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And as you arrive here, take a moment to pedal out your feet, to wiggle side to side, just to feel into this pose. This is the home base pose of your practice. So it should feel nice. It should feel like coming home when you arrive here. Press through the index mounds of your hands. Relax through your neck, relax through your shoulders, press them down your spine. Untuck your tailbone and put little bends in your knees. Inhale, wave forward until you find a plank position, and then notice if you moved your hands or your feet. And if you did, keep them right where they are, and then lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. We're gonna do 2 more like that. Inhale, wave forward. Exhale, press back. 1 more. Inhale, forward. Exhale, press back. 1 more time, we shift forward, but there's a change coming up. Go ahead, drop your knees. Lower all the way down onto your belly, as slow as you can. When you get there, baby cobra, inhale, peel your chest up off the ground, neck stays long, shoulders back and down. Hands are light, maybe you can even wiggle your fingers, maybe you can even lift your hands. Release, lower down. Then press your hips back through child's pose, and we'll take it to downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward. And then we'll take little steps to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, get long in your spine. Exhale, forward fold, right back down. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Reach high. And then exhale, we'll take it right back down, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step your right foot back, then step your left foot to meet it, plank pose. You can drop your knees or you can stay lifted this time, but we'll lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck your toes when you get there. Inhale, open through your chest. Maybe you lift a little bit higher this time and start to straighten your arms a little more. And we'll curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, take a little bit bigger steps this time, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Root down with your feet, rise up to stand. Then exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, press into them. Step your left foot back, then step your right foot to meet it, plank pose. Drop your knees or not. Exhale, lower down. Then inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 more time like that. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward. You can step, or if you want to hop, go for it, feet to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Rise all the way up. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. You can step back or you can hop back, but if you hop back, you're hopping straight into chaturanga. Exhale, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. If you're in upward facing, you're pressing into the spot where your toes meet your foot. And you're keeping your elbows soft. Then exhale, downward facing dog. This time when you arrive in down dog, drop your knees, find a tabletop position, hands right under your shoulders and knees right under your hips. Then inhale, drop your belly, press your chest forward, maybe look up. Exhale, chin to chest, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, drop your belly, press into your hands. Exhale, chin to chest, round. Couple more rounds of this cat and cow. Or anything else you're craving. You can add in whatever, hip circles, side bends. Maybe you just close your eyes, move freely. Remember, this is all about giving yourself what you need, what feels right in this moment, and nothing else. There's no rules. There's no judgment. Once your spine starts to feel nice and warm and you've wiggled it in lots of different directions, we'll start to come back to your neutral tabletop position. Then lift your right foot. We'll stamp it straight towards the sky behind you. So your knee is bent and your foot is straight up. You can't see mine because of my head. Then reach your right arm back, tap your foot. Left arm, sorry. Extend everything long. Exhale, crunch, elbow to your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach back, tap your foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch and round. We're gonna do one more. Lengthen. Reach for your foot. This time, maybe you grab your foot, find a quad stretch. If you do, really kick into your hand and gently release. Send everything long. Drop your left hand, drop your knee. One round cat and cow, drop your belly. Round, chin to chest. And come back to your neutral tabletop position. I'm gonna turn a little bit. Left foot straight up towards the sky, flex your toe, and start to reach your right arm to tap your foot. Then inhale, lengthen. I can't because there's a wall there. Exhale, crunch, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach back, tap your foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Last time, send it long. Reach back for your foot. Maybe you grab your foot and kick into your hand, but see if you can keep pulling your belly up and in and your ribs together. And then notice, make sure you're still breathing. Release your grip if you have it, send everything long. Tabletop position, inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round through your spine. Come back to neutral, curl your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose, open mouth, exhale through your nose. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees. Look forward, travel, top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Then bring your toes to touch, and we'll sink your hips and find a chair pose. So it doesn't have to be a low chair. Just as long as you can feel it in your legs. Your weight is in all four corners of your feet, not just in your heels. So you're gonna wanna dump into your heels, but try not to. Take one more breath in. Exhale, forward fold, belly to thighs, and then straighten your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, or you can hop. And if you want to take a flow, you take a flow. Or if you want to skip it, you go straight to down dog, or even child's pose. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, pull your right knee in towards your chest. Then step your right foot in between your hands. Turn your back toes to 45 degrees, top left corner of your mat. Your left heel should be down. And then inhale, lift your arms, and we'll find warrior one. So in warrior one, you want your hips to be as square to the front of your mat as you can get them. So you can even bring your hands towards your hips and square them. And then notice if you need to move your feet, move them. Take one more breath in, inhale. Exhale, hands come down to your mat. Come onto the ball of your left foot. Then press into your hands. Pull your right knee into your chest. Then step it back, plank pose. Option to flow, or you skip it and you just go to down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, pull left knee in towards your chest. Create more space between your shoulders and step your foot through. Maybe it takes more than one step, and that's fine. Drop your right toes and your right heel. Lift your arms, warrior one. So again, hands to your hips if you need it, and really square off. And adjust your feet if you need to. You're not glued to the mat here. And turn your pinkies and your thumbs out. These poses start with your fingers and your toes, so don't forget about them. Activate. One more breath in. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Press into your palms, right where your thumbs and your index finger meet. Come onto the ball of your back foot if you haven't already. Pull your left knee into your chest, then step it back, plank pose. Exhale to lower. Inhale, open up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. Feet to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Sink your hips, reach your arms, find your chair. And if your arms don't feel good overhead, then they're at your heart instead. And there's no right answer. One is not better than the other. But see if you can sink 1 inch lower. Look down, Make sure you can actually see your toes. Breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, flow or skip it, and just go straight to downward facing dog. We're gonna add on a little bit more from what we just did. So inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, pull the chest, step it through, right back to your warrior one. Rise. Settle in here first. Then we'll start to open the chest a little bit. Exhale, cactus your arms, but keep your elbows in line with your shoulders and press your chest forward while you still pull your belly up and in. Inhale, reach your arms up. We'll do two more like that. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull down, hold. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. One more time. Maybe you find a little tiny back bend here and start to pull your thumbs towards the back. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Come onto the ball of your left foot. Then lift your right arm and twist. You can always drop down to your left knee if that feels better, or keep it lifted. And then just start to take some giant arm circles here. And when you feel good, arms straight out of your shoulder socket. Start to heel toe your right foot a little bit wider towards the right edge of your mat. Then right hand down to the inside of your right foot. Option, again, to drop your left knee and come down. You're gonna get really stretchy in that right inner thigh. Then maybe you come down to your forearms, if that's accessible to you. Maybe you stay on your palms. Maybe you start to find a quad stretch where you'll bend your left knee, reach around with your right hand for your left foot. And maybe you find it and maybe you don't. And if you can't quite reach it, you could always like grab a sock and wrap it around your foot and pull the sock, which sounds crazy, but it does help. Gently start to release your grip if you have it. If you came down onto that left knee, curl your toes under. Now, this is gonna be a big step forward. You're gonna press into your hands. On your exhale, left foot steps to the outside of your left hand, and you'll be in this Malasana like frog squat. Hands come to your heart, then lift up through your pelvic floor just a little bit so you're not dumping into your joints. I know it's tough. One more breath in. Press down with your feet, rise all the way up to stand. Yes, you can. And heel toe your feet all the way in. Sink, chair. Breathe in. Notice when situations become uncomfortable, what happens to your breath? What happens to your mind, to your thoughts? And can you control them? Yes, you can. Breathe in. Breathe out, belly to thighs, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, float or not. We'll take you to down dog. And when you get there, take a full breath in. Open your mouth, sigh it out. One more, inhale. Don't be afraid to make a sound, exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg. Start to pull your knee towards your chest. As slow as you can, step it through. Back toes and back heel all the way down. Then lift your arms. Find your warrior one. Adjust your hips if you need to. Adjust your feet if you need to. Inhale. Exhale, pull your elbows down. Keep them in line with your shoulders. Maybe feel like someone's pulling them towards the back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull down, cactus. Inhale, reach. Last one. Exhale, pull down, hold. Press your chest forward. Inhale, reach up. Your biggest reach. Maybe you start to lean back a little bit. Heart towards the sky. Exhale, hands down to the inside of your foot. Oh wait, no, first we gotta twist. The option to come down to your right knee if you want it. And just start to draw those big, huge circles. And once it feels good, arms straight overhead, heel toe your left foot out towards the left, both hands to the inside. Your shoulders and your hips are both squared down towards the ground. Now, again, you can drop that back knee if that feels better. You can keep it lifted. If you're working on strength, you can start to try to work your left shoulder under your left thigh. Or if you're working on stretching, that's great too. And maybe you find that quad stretch. If you tried on the first side, you should try it again. And gently start to release. Both hands down. If you came down to the knee, lift it up. Then inhale, exhale, big step outside of your hand into your Malasana. And then see if you can lift just a little bit more. Inhale, exhale, press down, rise up, reach. Then start to heel toe your feet in. Soft bends in your knees. Exhale, we'll just forward fold this time. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, flow or leave it off. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. All right, let's add on a little more. Right leg lifts. Pull knee to chest. Step it through. You already know, warrior one is where we're going. Inhale here. Then exhale, one breath, cactus. Reach right back up. Exhale, hands down. We're gonna go back to your twist with your right arm lifted. And see if you can really peel your chest towards the right side. Maybe your belly is connecting with your right thigh. One more breath in here. Breathe out, both hands to the inside of the right foot, but this time we're not staying here. We're gonna keep walking around until you find a wide leg forward fold. And then allow yourself a couple breaths to hang out. You might take some side lunges into either knee. Maybe a shoulder stretch if you're craving it. Anything goes. And eventually, hands start to come right underneath your shoulders. And we'll press down hard with your feet to rise all the way up to stand. Your head will be the last thing to lift. And when you get there, turn your toes to opposite corners of your mat and reach your arms overhead, star pose. Exhale, sink into a goddess squat. So kind of like chair, but your legs are wide. Your knees are pulling towards the back. Inhale, rise up, star pose. Exhale, goddess squat, sink. Inhale, rise, last one. Goddess and hold. You might stay right here, or you might start to lift your heels. Maybe one heel at a time, maybe both heels at the same time. And then see if you can sink a tiny bit lower. One more breath in. Drop your heels, stand tall, reach up, and turn your front toes all the way to face the front. Your back foot should be parallel with the short edge of your mat. Tee out your arms, warrior two. So now you're bending into that front knee, but press the knee away from the midline of your body, so you're still opening up through your hips. Flip your front palm, reach forward, then up and back, reverse your warrior. Exhale to side angle, right elbow to your right thigh, or if you're feeling really open, your right hand can come all the way down to the inside of your right foot. But you don't want to start dumping forward. You want to be opening through your chest. One more time, inhale, reach up and back, reverse. And then this time we'll take it into balancing half moon. So you might pass through side angle. You might start to hop that left foot in a couple times. Maybe you just go all the way straight there. Your right hand will come down in front of your right foot. Flex your left toes as they start to lift. It doesn't matter how high you lift them. Your left hand can be on your hip or it can reach up. Then one more option for a quad stretch. You can start to bend your left knee, take your hand to your foot, just like you did before, kick into your hands. And if you fall, no one cares, it's okay. You can try it again or you can just let it go. If you have the foot, start to release it. And we'll square your shoulders towards the mat, square your hips towards the mat, and then find a forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Flow if you want to flow, or you leave it off and you just find down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Shift your shoulders over your wrists. Step it through as many steps as you need. Back heel to 45. One more time. Rise up. Warrior one. One inhale here. One exhale. Cactus your elbows. Open through your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down to your mat. Find your twist. You're on the ball of your right foot. Maybe you can twist a little deeper this time. Maybe you can get a little lighter in your fingertips and use your core to twist you a little bit more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Both hands to the inside of your left foot, but keep walking them. Turn on your toes into your wide left fold. If you want something different this time, go for it. Maybe you want the same thing. If you have a headstand in your practice from here, you're welcome to take it, of course. And eventually, hands right under your shoulders. Get heavy in your upper body. Press down with your feet to roll your way up to stand. And when you get there, turn your toes to opposite corners. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, star pose. Exhale, squat, guts. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise, last time, goddess. And we hold. And see if you can feel like you're leaning against a wall. So get your back as flat as you can get it. Your hands can stay cactus, or they can come to your heart, or even to your thighs. And maybe you start to play with lifting your heels. If you feel wobbly or shaky, embrace that. You're getting stronger. Drop your heels, stand tall, reach high, and set up your feet for your warrior two. Left toes point forward. Then we bend into that left knee. So really strong bend in your left knee. Gaze is right over your front fingertips. Then flip your front palm, reach forward, up and back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle, left elbow to your left thigh or left hand to the inside of your left foot. But keep peeling your chest open. And if you have a half bind or a full bind here, of course, go for it. Inhale, reach up and back one more time, reverse. Then on your exhale, we'll find balancing half moon. Maybe you can do it in one movement. Maybe you need a few movements. When you get there, option for that quad stretch is called sugar cane. Yeah, and maybe you get really wobbly and that's okay. Maybe if you're in half moon, you just play with getting lighter in your front fingers. Maybe you can lift them up. If you have your foot, start to release it. Square your shoulders, square your hips, forward fold. Take turns bending each of your knees. Shake it out. And tuck your chin, press down on your feet, rise up to stand. We're just gonna fold it right back down, but we're gonna really release it big time. So soft bends in your knees, bob up and down a little bit. And inhale, reach your arms overhead. As you exhale, release, swing your arms, let it go. And then start to Heel toe your feet to the outside edges of your mat. And we're gonna find that Malasana squat just one more time. Start to sink your hips. And from here, if you wanna play with your crow or your firefly, you're welcome to play with those things. Maybe you wanna twist, maybe you just wanna stay right here. Maybe you wanna drop your hips, find a butterfly stretch. This is your free playtime to do whatever you want. And eventually, when you're done playing, take your time if you're still playing around. But we'll all find a seated position. You send your legs straight out in front of you this time. Wiggle into your mat. Kind of pull the flesh away from your sit bones. Flex your toes, soft bends in your knees. And then inhale, get really long in your spine. Exhale, start to walk your fingertips forward and hinge forward. And you might not have to fold very far. You're just trying to stay long through your spine. Pulling up and out through the crown of your head. Rooted in your hips, rooted in your heels. And every time you inhale, lift up a tiny bit, get longer. And every time you exhale, fold a tiny bit deeper. So maybe you start to find a little wave with your breath as you inhale and exhale. Slowly and gently start to roll your way back up. And then just like we did at the start, we're gonna make our way down slowly and gradually and find a little last core fire. In yoga, we believe that your energy, your fire, your discipline comes from your core. So it's really important to fire that up and to work on it. So flex your feet, or you can bring the soles of your feet down to the mat, and that's gonna be a little bit easier like we did at the start. Reach your arms out in front. Pull your shoulders back and down. Pull your belly up and in. Then slowly start to lean back until you can feel your core work. And again, it might not be very far. When you get there, hold. Find your edge, your lowest point. And breathe. Breathe through the discomfort. Know that you're getting stronger. And trust yourself. And take one more breath in. Then slowly make your way all the way down onto your spine. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. You might even round your forehead towards your knees. You might rock a little side to side. And gently start to release. Pick up your right ankle, put it over your left thigh. And then you can grab behind the left thigh, really flex your left toes. If you want to also make this a hamstring stretch, you can start to lengthen through the left leg, and really flex your toes towards your face. Use your right elbow to press your right knee a little further out. If you straighten your legs, start to bend back into that left knee. Release your grip, but keep your legs. We're gonna roll over into a twist towards the left side. And if these legs don't feel okay, then release them and find some that feel better. Start to unwind back to center. Switch out your feet. Left ankle on top of your right thigh. Then find your figure 4 stretch for your hips. Maybe you add the hamstring stretch, maybe not. And just, again, acknowledge how you're feeling. Acknowledge what you need. A lot of times when we stretch our hips, we're able to really release some feelings of tension or gripping or some emotions that we've been holding on to. So if that happens to you, don't be surprised. Just let it come out. And when you're ready, you start to find your twist. Roll over onto your right side and just melt. And slowly start to unwind your twist, unwind your legs. And take anything else that you're hurting. So maybe a happy baby, maybe shoulder stand, maybe Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of your feet touching and your knees out towards the sides. Maybe you want one more stretch. It's your time. And if you're finding something in one direction or on one side, make sure you switch it out and find balance in your body. As you start to finish up the movement portion of your practice, and start to make your way towards any final shape that calls to you, maybe flat on your back, maybe on your belly, maybe you stay in that Supta Baddha Konasana if that's where you are. And take one more full scan of your body. And take it nice and slow. And stop to tell yourself, thank you. I love you. And I appreciate the work that you do for me. And then rest. Inhale. Exhale. And only when you're ready, slowly, gently wake yourself up. Maybe stretch your arms overhead or just wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Eventually bend your knees, roll over onto one side. And take one more moment to tell your body, your breath, thank you. I love you. I appreciate you listening to me and being willing to give me what I needed. And when you're ready, make your way towards a seat. You can bring your hands to your heart or maybe rest them face down on your knees. And together we'll close with one breath. Inhale. Share the love. Exhale. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me virtually, and always, namaste.